Good morning, everyone. My name is Russ Laggan, and you are watching the Big Agent Meeting, and I am pre-recording this on Wednesday, the 22nd, for the 24th, where you guys are watching it right now, and I'm recording it live from, you're not going to be able to guess where, the actual eXpCON in Miami at the Miami Convention Center. And let me give you guys a quick tour. I am in what we call the Success Booth. The Success Booth is basically a box, and I jokingly call it the fishbowl because you've got two sides that are glass and people just keep coming up and saying hello. And then if you want to see guys coming up next, see the fishbowl over there? That's where Ian Wheatley is actually recording KGCI Radio, and I recorded a session with him live from eXpCON for KGCI Radio. So check this out. This is the Expo Hall out behind me. You've got people wandering around, people going through. This is actually not busy yet. It's going to get busier here as we go because there's 4,500 people in Miami this year for eXpCON. I will tell you what, when I walk into the big building and see the big room with the big stage, it is absolutely mind-boggling how much energy and how much power and how many amazing people are here at eXpCON this year. So, a couple of quick pieces of note, right? Normally right now I do the attraction advantage part. But before I do that, I want to talk a little bit about eXpCON, and then I'm going to kick you over to Wendy Forsythe. She's going to talk about what's going on with eXpCON announcements, because there's some great announcements that are thrown out there. And then we're going to kick over to Bryon Ellington, having a conversation with Zach Muir about revenue of Sisu, and of course Battr, which is a pretty cool setup for you guys. So let's kick it off with a quick recap of eXpCON. Number one, I don't know if there's many times in my life where I felt more connected to human beings and more connected to amazing people. The amount of love that has been poured into me with hugs and kind words and enthusiastic hoots and hollers when people are walking by, I do stand out a little bit. So I have attracted a little bit of attention while we were here, but it's really great to see the outpouring of human beings and human beings just loving on each other, right? So part of the beauty of eXpCON is being able to be connected, get connected to people, and even though we're a virtual business, we get together quite a bit in person. So if you have not got yourself set up where you're actually showing up at a live event, make sure you set it on your schedule and make it a priority for the next year to be able to show up for live events. And worst case scenario, eXpCON next year is going to be in Salt Lake City, Utah, somewhere I've never been before. So I'm excited to hit up eXpCON next year. So with that said, we've got speakers, we've got amazing people teaching, training, coaching, and loving on other people and showing them how to be successful all around the whole thing. If you hear the noise in the background, they've got a stage directly to my right, and they've got a mini stage in the Expo Hall where there's somebody up there right now talking about how to sell more houses. You got to love that. It's part of the beauty of eXpCON. So with that said, I'm going to kick it over to Ian Wheatley. He's KGCI Radio. Ian Wheatley's right over next to me. Check it out. Ian Wheatley, what are you doing over there, brother? Take it away.
Hey, Russ, good morning. Yeah, it's been an absolute blast here from the Miami Beach Convention Center for eXpCON. And just imagine if you didn't make it down here, but you knew exactly where you could turn to learn from the top producing agents that presented here, from the eXp Realty leadership that spoke on stage. What if you knew where you could go to get a bunch of those strategies and tactics and insights that happened here while you were away? Well, coming up right after the Big Agent Meeting right here on KGCI Real Estate on Air, we are rolling it back. Every piece of live broadcast content that we did from the Miami Beach Convention Center that featured CEO Leo Pareja, that featured founder Glenn Sanford, that featured key announcements from Chief Marketing Officer Wendy Forsythe, along with the award-winning top producers at eXp Realty. Those strategies, those tactics, those insights are all coming to you right after the Big Agent Meeting on KGCI Real Estate on Air. Everything we did, we're sharing it again. Download the always free KGCI Real Estate on Air mobile app for iPhone and Android. Just search KGCI or scan the QR code coming up on your screen right now. Dive back in, learn what you missed, all happening next here on KGCI Real Estate on Air.
All right, Ian Wheatley. I'm literally watching him in his booth recording stuff 20 feet away. This is pretty cool. So next up, we have the one and only, one of my favorite people in the world, and somebody I want to say thank you very much to for helping me get on the big stage later today, Wendy Forsythe, Chief Marketing Officer for eXp Realty. You put on one hell of a show. Your team did an amazing job. And here's Wendy with eXpCON announcements that you would have missed if you weren't here on Tuesday. Take it away, Wendy.
Thanks, Ross. Hi, everyone. My goodness, I think I'm kind of recovered from an amazing few days at eXpCON in Miami. It was great to see so many of you there. And for those of you that weren't there, I'm excited today to share with you some of the tremendous announcements that we made during our general sessions in Miami. And today I'm going to share 4 of the key announcements that we shared on Tuesday and Wednesday this week during general sessions. Now, you may have caught these announcements in your emails because we did email these to all of you, but we know you guys don't always read your emails. So I wanted to hop on here today and share these announcements with you all during the big agent meeting. Now, additionally, if you didn't read the email, you might have also caught these on our social media. So if you heard them on social, or if you want to get a recap after you hear me talk about them today, make sure you follow along on our social accounts, especially our Instagram account at eXp Realty. So without further ado, let me share 4 of the big announcements that we shared with everyone this week in Miami. Now, the first one was about Canva. Now, some of you will remember at last year's eXpCON, we introduced our Canva Enterprise Pro account to all of you. Well, during the last year, you guys have been literally Canva pros. You've created over 1.5 million Canva designs. It's just remarkable how incredibly efficient you guys all are using Canva. In fact, you create the average design in Canva in just under 8 minutes. It's truly incredible. Now, you might be wondering, what do we do in Canva, like to create over 1.5 million designs? Well, one of the things that you guys do a lot in Canva, in fact, over 365,000 times, is remove things from the backgrounds of your photos. In fact, Canva told us that eXp agents use the background remover more than any other group of users. So it's no wonder, given sort of what we all do, that is one of our favorite features. Another thing that you guys do in Canva is you use Magic Eraser a lot. So of course, we all know you take that photo of a listing and there's, the car in the front, driveway blocking the garage, and we, take it out with a magic eraser. So it's been super cool to see, all the cool things that we can do with Canva. But there has been I almost forgot. One of the other things you guys do with Canva is use the eXp listing apps, where you can type in your listing address and it pulls in the listing information of your listing directly into Canva, and you can just slide over the photos and all the listing information to create all of your assets. But that was last year's announcement. I just wanted to give you some highlights because you guys have been such great users of Canva, and so many of you find it valuable. But there's been one thing in Canva that you guys have been asking for, and it's our first announcement that we shared in Miami this week. And that has been the ability for each of you to have your own personal brand kit in Canva. So by the end of the year, you guys will be able to have your own personal brand kits in Canva. So what that means is if your team has certain colors, or if you have your own team or your own personal logo, you can have that brand kit right in Canva, the same way that we have our eXp brand kit in that, to make it even easier to create all of those designs. So that was our first big announcement that we shared at eXpCON in Miami. Let me tell you about announcement number 2. And this one is so super cool. And it's all about making your life easier. And this is the introduction of Mira. Mira works on your phone, and Mira is our new AI business assistant. And how Mira works is that you will be able to just ask Mira any question that you have about your business, and Mira will answer it. Think of it of how you talk to Siri or how you talk to Alexa. Once you download Mira, and here's the QR code, so download this QR code and you'll be able to immediately start using Mira. You're going to be able to ask Mira any questions about your business. Things like, hey Mira, how far am I away from reaching my cap? Hey Mira, when's my next closing? Hey Mira, you don't even have to say Mira. Mira, what documents are missing from 123 Main Street? Hey Mira, how many people do I have in my downline? Hey Mira, how far am I away from capping? Any business questions that you have, you can now ask Mira. So check out the QR code, check out Mira. Mira is going to give you the power of your business in the palm of your hand. It is AI, just brilliance. And like, we can't wait for you to get to know Mira and to use Mira to make your life easier and to just be able to use your voice to get information and to have those questions answered for you. So that is Mira. Let us know what you think of Mira. That's our second announcement. Our third announcement for all of our luxury agents out there, and our luxury division has been growing. And of course, luxury real estate continues to be such an important market. And earlier this year, we launched our eXp Land and Ranch division as an extension of eXp Luxury. Well, this week at eXpCON in Miami, we launched our next extension of eXp Luxury, and that is eXp Luxury Sports and Entertainment. Many of you who specialize in luxury have been asking for this niche specialization for your sports and entertainment clients. Sports and entertainment clients really do require a specialized level of service. And for those of you that work this market, you really want to be able to network with agents across the US, Canada, and the globe that service these type of clients. And our sports and entertainment network will allow you to find those agents and find the services and support to work with those clients. So for more information on joining eXp Luxury Sports and Entertainment, you see the URL there on the screen. You can find out all of the information. And we have a certification coming up in early November to learn more about our sports and entertainment division. So you're going to want to go check that out to learn more about that. So that was our third big announcement that we made this week. Our final announcement that I'm going to share with you this morning is one that I know that you guys are all going to love. This is our fourth big announcement, and that is the hub. So this is hub.exprealty.com. You can go sign up today. Now, I know a lot of us were really sad when Workplace went away. And a lot of you networked on Workplace and you were in your groups, and it just wasn't quite the same when we moved over to Slack. So the hub is a replacement for our Workplace groups. So this is beta testing now, and we soft launched it this week in Miami, but it's ready for you to go in and take a look at, and it works very similar to how Workplace worked. So we are looking forward to getting that community and that culture and those groups and all of that networking and communication back that we had as part of Workplace, plus some extra. And you'll learn more about that in the weeks to come. But we wanted to share with you the launch of Hub and get you the information so that you can sign up for Hub. When you go here the very first time, you're going to get a sign up window. You must sign up with your eXpRealty.com email address. You can only get access using your eXpRealty.com email address. And once you sign up, you're going to get an email to get a code to your eXp email address. So it's like a two-factor authentication to go then back in and give that code and then set up your profile, and then you'll be in. And we hope you have fun getting in there and networking and getting into groups and getting that feeling back of our community that we had through Workplace. This is all, by the way, built through vibe coding and built on AI, and has been built by our founder and visionary, Glenn Sanford. So go take a look at the hub, and you're going to be hearing lots more about this, but it was our fourth big announcement that we made in Miami this week. So there are other announcements that we made, but we're going to save those for BAM in the weeks to come. Those are the four big announcements that we wanted to share with you, hot off the heels of eXp Miami this week. And Russ, I'm going to throw it back to you.
All right, there you go, eXpCON. Every year, we get announcements of amazing things that are coming out, and they're helping you guys take your business to the next level. I love the fact that every year we improve the game and we make it easier for the agents to be successful at eXp Realty. So with that said, next up, I want to introduce you guys to our Agent Advantage program of the week, which is the CE Shop. You guys all have to do continuing education. We've got a partner with it that makes it easier and keeps the cost down for CE. So take it away, CE Shop.
At the CE Shop, our commitment to ignite you and your team's full potential through innovative thinking, evolved technology, and more valuable learning is more focused than ever. We've been a trailblazer for over 19 years and have specialized in empowering eager students embarking on a real estate career, while also providing ongoing education and resources to experienced agents. Today, our expertise extends across the 4 real estate professions: real estate, mortgage, home inspection, and appraisal. With our education as the driving force, our students are part of over 5 million real estate transactions each year. We could not be more grateful to be such a big part of the real estate industry with over 4,000 partners and more than 1.4 million students.
Based on recent major headlines and interest rates, we recognize that as professionals and educators, we are in uncharted territory. But by focusing on what we can control and through meaningful collaboration, we're here to help you navigate this year effortlessly. By listening to partners nationwide, we've gained crucial insights into the tools needed to accelerate your agent's career success in today's landscape.
You called for more accessible learning formats, skills-building courses beyond requirements, and emerging specialty education. And thanks to your help, the CE Shop has redefined the game. We've introduced audio and video to our already industry-leading courses, added qualifying education and continuing education for real estate appraisal. We continue to bolster our home inspection education and launched the game-changing ProPath professional development curriculum that you and your agents asked for.
Extensive interviews with top producers, rookies, and brokerage leaders revealed the crucial gaps holding back top talent. ProPath fills those gaps and can accelerate on-the-job mastery of negotiating deals, building a referral network, managing operations, and conveying value for your new recruits and veteran agents, all without the cost and time of traditional coaching. By tapping into the CE Shop's industry knowledge, ProPath is designed to quickly unlock your agent's potential with actionable frameworks. This gives brokers turnkey professional development that quickly and efficiently scales, supporting your recruitment and retention goals. In this pivotal moment in our industry, the CE Shop isn't just an ally, we're your strategic partner for success. Our commitment goes beyond providing critical training solutions. We're forging powerful collaborations to ensure you stay visible in the market.
Selling real estate takes grit. An agent guides their client through one of the largest financial transactions of their life. So what can you do to advance your business in these new market conditions and be the best representative for your clients? Invest in your agents and your business with continuous learning. As you traverse the challenges and opportunities 2024 has to offer, know this: The CE Shop is here to help support you and your goals along the way. From consistent and up-to-date education to revolutionary business solutions, we're here to innovate, elevate, and ensure your journey is nothing short of extraordinary. Together, we'll make this year your most remarkable one yet.
All right, there you go. Now you know about CE Shop, and if you haven't been on your continuing education, get on it now. Do it early for once, instead of the last day like I always do at 10 o'clock p.m. and hope I don't have a computer glitch. I hope you're not like that too. All right, so next up we have a session with Bryon Ellington and Zach Muir talking about the revenue at Sisu and also talking about their program called Battr, which is part of Zillow Flex. So take it away, Bryon Ellington, go.
So maybe starting with Sisu. And again, we're framing this in the context of Zillow Flex, but accountability and numbers are true no matter what the lead source is. Do you want to kind of share a little bit about how Sisu sits over a database and what kinds of metrics that you see teams really benefiting from tracking in Sisu?
Yeah. So I guess I'll just share my screen. Maybe it'd be the easiest way to show some of this, right? You mentioned the scoreboard, and that's definitely something that we focus on heavily. I'm going to try and bring another screen on here. Let's see if I can get it to load.
Okay.
You see this Facebook post here?
Yeah, sure do.
Oh, this is now Spring's office. So instead of a spreadsheet, now we call this the Great Wall of Sisu, right? And so when you walk into the office, right, kind of like the analogy you made, like everybody knows the score because it's published freaking everywhere, right? It's on the main sales floor on, 4 70-inch TVs. You can see in the top right, like we've got a little, see if I can zoom in a little. We've got like a challenge running. We've got some leaderboards. We've got our, core team metrics, and it's all just there, and it's always accurate, and it's always in front of everybody. In addition to that, they've got the same thing on their phone, right? So it's just like, it just becomes a part of how you operate. Like agents that are on teams that run Sisu, like they can't imagine not knowing the score. They go somewhere else, it would drive them crazy because they would feel like they're running blind. But it's just something that's so natural to a team that's running Sisu. And so kind of the heart of it is, some of these, there's so many reports in here. So, everyone kind of has their favorite that they gravitate to. Right, but I'm going to run this. Let's see. We'll just look at the month, right? So this would be like a team dashboard, right? And a lot of you are familiar with maybe like 4 disciplines of execution, or I think most team leaders are familiar with like a yearly exercise that most of us do, where we sit down and do our business planning. We set our goal. Agent tells you they want to make $200,000. You say, okay, great. Here's our average. I'll actually show you guys the goal calculator, right? Here's our average price point. We actually pull these in based off of the team's actual numbers. So this is their actual average price point, volume goal, splits, average GCI, percent of business that's buyers, contract to close rate, signed to under contract, appointment met to sign. So all of the conversion ratios we bring in. So when you tell the system, like as an agent, I'll just pick one here. We're actually going to go off of this agent's conversion ratios now, but we could go off of the team or the whole platform. There's a lot of ways to do this, but when I tell it that my income goal is 200,000, right, it will spit out for me that, okay, you need to be gunning for about 420 conversations every single month, right? And so now that goal is so clear and we commit to it, and this isn't something like every team should, or most teams do this, but they do it once a year, and then the business plan goes in the garbage, and we'll look at it and laugh at it again next November. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, so I know exactly what you mean, and I'll bring this back to something that most teams fail to realize, and I'll use the franchise world. So I was part of a franchise organization. Each year, we would set goals for our offices of how many agents they would attract and how much production they would do and things of that nature. Well, it turns out our goals weren't their goals.
Yeah.
And so we would base all of our numbers and our expectations around our goals. And so we got smart and we started going out to the franchisees and saying, what are your goals? Because at the end of the day, if they have realistic goals that they're going to get after, our results are just going to be an amalgamation of what they actually do. Sounds like a team, right? But what's interesting is when we did that, we put that kind of goal sheet out there. Tell us your goals. We would get the craziest stuff back. Like, offices that had only attracted, 50 agents were like, suddenly they were going to attract 300 agents. And we're like, well, hold on a second. Like, let's have a conversation about that, because it's that realistic. And by the way, do you understand the work involved in actually doing that? Because it is realistic if you're realistically going to do the work. And as a team leader, when you think about your goals as an organization, they are really an amalgamation of all the goals and the buy-in toward those goals of your team. And so are you having conversations like that once a year, so that, your lofty goal of doubling your production, or, going from 235 million to, 470 million next year, which is what a lot of people do to set their goals, is that real? And is it really going to lead to real results that is going to be motivating to the team month after month as you start to look at these? So I like the way in which you've done that, with allowing the team members to help set their own goals and then rolling it up. Well, and again, like everything in life, approach is meaningful.
Yeah.
And you can walk into your next team meeting and say, hey, I'm laying down law. This is how it's going to go from now on. Or you can walk into your next team meeting with the data and show them what the data says about follow-up and what's necessary in order to get the results that we all want. Can we all agree on that? The numbers aren't lying to us. Okay, great. So then what does that tell us about what the standard should be? And get buy-in from the group before you start implementing those standards, so that they understand where they're coming from. And it's not just you, as you say, waking up on the wrong side of the bed.
Yeah.
I'm curious about Battr. I know a software out there that does like some sort of scoring of conversations and things of that nature. Is that a factor in Battr?
Yeah. Are you talking Shiloh or?
Yeah, Shiloh is one of those products. Yeah.
So Shiloh, then the reason I bring up Shiloh, they're amazing. They're a great partner of ours. We're actually working on a lot of things to bring our products even closer together. Because they're so synergistic, right? Because there's really only three elements to sales, and it's who you call, right? When you call them, and what you say when you get to them, right? Or other people will say who you call, how many times you call them, and what you say when you get them on the phone, right? Well, Battr can handle the first two, which is we can make sure that the people on your list who you want to be called are getting called the amount of times that you want them to be called. And you have to solve that first, right? But the third piece of the equation is, well, what are we actually saying on the phone when we get them, when somebody picks up the phone, right? Which is a challenge in itself. Most of the time the problem is people not picking up the phone, period, right? But when you solve that, what are they saying on the phone? That's where something like a Shiloh comes in, and we kind of together, I think, cover the whole thing. But some of the things we're considering and brainstorming on and working towards with them is like, can we route leads a little smarter, not just based off of people upholding standards, but off of actual performance, right? So if you have a certain call rating on leads, when leads come in, we're going to route based on your call rating, where you can actually earn access to luxury leads of a million plus if your call rating is X. And so now I've just gamified it a little further. I've created a standard that's not purely effort-based. It's actually a little more skill-based. And I think that's good too. Skills should be rewarded too, So really, it pairs really nicely. And couldn't be more excited about what they're doing over there too. So. Yeah,
and this is one of those levers of control that you have as a team leader that most people don't explore, and it's cooked into Zillow Flex in their application, where you can limit geographies, limit price points, so that, and what we find is there's a life cycle to Zillow Flex team members. The newer agents you wouldn't give any leads to until they've been trained up and then tested. A lot of teams do like 5, 5, 10, meaning I'll give you 5 leads, you work them, I'm going to coach you up on how you work them, then I'll give you 5 more, same thing, 10 more, same thing, and then we're going to turn you loose. But what happens over time is as agents build their book of business, their sphere, they get better at working things like open houses and other forms of lead generation that don't have a 40% referral fee on them before team splits. they tend to gravitate towards those more, and then they only want certain types of leads from, in this case, Zillow, but there's other types of leads that a team is getting in. Could be Realtor and other portals, could be team generated leads through SEO and other means, right? Same rules apply, but it's not an all or nothing is my point. So if an agent on the team isn't living up to standards, you don't have to just turn them off completely. You can just dial them back in certain ways. And I'm glad to know that you guys are working toward that. But my experience with, because we did a ton of research on sphere of influence and database for a course we're actually about to pilot here in November. What's interesting is when you look at the more successful sphere of influence and database agents, the amount of people that they're talking to in their database, you would think, given their production, it would be huge. And in fact, some of them do have rather big databases, but their sphere of influence is where the majority of their business comes from. And in many cases, it was like 150, 200 in that top tier, just really well worked. And what happens is when you look up at the difference between the two is they're picking up the phone and having meaningful conversations with these people, sometimes about real estate at first, or sometimes it's the personal and then it goes into real estate at the end, versus the other group who's got thousands of people in there and they're just doing the hi, how you doing, expecting the individual to say, hey, by the way, I'm about to list my home, or I'm about to buy a home. And hoping for that come list me, come represent me kind of conversation to happen, and not forcing the issue. And what's interesting about Shiloh and Zillow is that they grade you on a number of metrics. One of them is, in the first 60 seconds, did you try to set the appointment? Think about that for a second. You tell that to most real estate agents and they would go, I would never. And yet again, for most internet leads, the conversion rate is something like 1%, maybe 1.5%. It's 6% to 15%. Why? Because they're asking for the business. And there's a time and a place to build rapport. There is. You do a little bit of it in that initial call, but what you find and what Zillow will tell you is you do too much of that, you're going to talk yourself out of the transaction. Yeah. And they will grade against you for an 8-minute long conversation with an initial buyer and an initial buyer call.
To hear data on that. So, I mean, something I've always thought is you get on a call with somebody, the colder it is, the more you're sitting here thinking, wow, how long is this person going to keep me on the phone? So in a way, getting to the point and asking for what you want to ask for sends the message that I'm not wasting your time. And so it's interesting to hear data on that, because it's always been something that I've been curious about, right? That's how I see it. I'd rather you just get to the point, because that just, most of the time I'm like, all right, how long am I be on the phone? I'm like going to a meeting in 2 minutes, so.
Yeah. Well, and people would say, well, that's Zillow Flex. They've raised their hand in some way and indicated that they're interested in a particular property. Yeah, but what about Fellow?
Yeah. Right.
What about, your website leads? What about, the indications where you can see that somebody hearted something or favorited, depending upon your MLS or 90X? All of that is true. And picking up the phone and beating around the bush versus getting to, the heart of what they really want, which if they're a buyer, they don't want to talk to you. They want to see a home.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's the key, and being able to track that through metrics and being able to tell who's having successful conversations and who's not. And for the people who are not, limiting their interaction with the lead pool until they get their scripting up and all that type of stuff is a pretty smart way of handling your lead flow. You're paying for it. Right? Zillow Flex, you're paying on the backside of things, but SEO and some of the other lead sources that you do as team generated leads, you're paying for it, and you have a right to expect certain standards. And I liked your quote about standards versus suggestions. I think that's absolutely right. I know we're near time here, so just parting thoughts. Anything that you think that a team leader really needs to consider about Battr when it comes to higher quality lead conversion and ultimately more happy team members as a result of it?
Yeah, I would just a couple things. One, it is insanely lightweight to implement, right? It's hands off for you. Meet with us, and we handle all the setup. we got teams that love Battr, use it, they've never even logged into it. And we view that as a good thing, right? Because it's in the background enforcing what needs to happen as far as a standard, and just delivering your reports via email, right? If that's easier. So very lightweight, easy tool to get set up with very little effort. And then the other thing I would say is when was the last time you ran a database audit, right? Because it's sometimes the teams that think that their automations and their whatever they've set up in FUB are taking care of everything, that will run the audit and we'll find that 60+% of leads in a certain segment are not being worked to standard, right? It's very, very common. We'll go into teams who I think they do run incredible businesses, but database is hard and they're big and they're messy. And so it's very common that even some of the top producing teams will sweep 2,500 leads on day one, right? But that simplifies the database for everybody, or 6,000 leads sometimes. We got a team we did training for the other day. They're giving their agents a week to clean things up, but it's looking to be 3,500 to 4,000 leads that we're going to sweep day one, right? When those leads go into the pond, one, you've now created a new standard for how the database has worked. But two, so like Spring's team, we swept 2,500 leads. They did a call blitz on those leads, set 20 appointments in like 2 hours, right? Like your agents are sitting on a gold mine of leads and you need to get them out in the open. So that's kind of our approach, right? And you just don't know until you run a full audit on every lead and see what's being worked and what isn't. So,
all right, there you go. Bryon Ellington with a snip with Zach Muir. If you want more details or you want more information, you want to see the whole show, make sure you tune into eXp Realty live in YouTube. Just type in eXp Realty in YouTube and you're able to actually pull that session up. Type in Bryon Ellington, Zach Muir, and it'll get you straight to the full version of that. And make sure, by the way, you like and subscribe when you're on there. And if you're watching on YouTube right now, watching this on YouTube right now, make sure you like and subscribe so when something pops up, you're notified of it right away so you can keep up to speed on what we're doing every single week. All right, so next up we have Ian talking about University Spotlight. What's going on at University? Ian, take it away.
You know, Russ, we really have to stop meeting like this. You're right over there, man. Come say hi. All right, agents, are you overwhelmed by AI? I know prior to my conversation with Leo Pareja and Glenn Sanford, I would have considered myself in the category of overwhelmed by AI, but it was a conversation with Chief Learning Officer Bryon Ellington that really got me excited, because if you're ready to start actually learning how to use AI, eXp University has a new series kicking off October 28th. It's an AI accelerator series, and it is all totally free. For 8 weeks, you're going to be learning from 11 of the top AI trainers in the industry, from automating your CRM to building smarter marketing to getting found in search. This is hands-on training, not tech theory, right? So you'll even get custom GPTs. Then you'll also learn how to build your own if you don't know how to do that yet. It's all for free. Register now at eXpUniversity.com and stop guessing what to post or what to write or even, quite frankly, what to build, because AI can help you move that needle faster, and eXp University is going to show you how. Now, if you are ready to stop winging it and actually start winning it, this week at eXp University, they are talking more about real strategies, generating real traffic, and setting seller expectations and scaling your business without feeling all burnt out all the time, right? So what do they have on the board over at eXp University? They're going to teach you how to learn how to drive targeted traffic that actually converts, build a business that doesn't break your life, hear how top agents are setting price, making the pitch, and closing deals, and also get the new tools that you could use this week and next week to grow your business as we move through Q4 into 2026. It all starts on Monday with Level Up Marketing Pro Jacob Shireman. He is back with part 3 of his digital growth series, showing you how you can stop posting randomly and start building traffic with intentionality. Then on Thursday, for an exclusive eXp Executive Masterclass, the Senior Vice President of Growth, Amy Weaver, breaks down exactly how she balances her big business and her full life. It's real talk and real strategy. And then it's you and I right back here on Friday for the big agent meeting. Join the industry's best for insights, wins, and tools that actually move the needle. And then after the big agent meeting next week, it's the Lab podcast featuring Bryon Ellington. With over $6 billion in sales, he is joined by Kyle Whissel, who talks you through the pricing psychology, tech tools, and how to win even the toughest listing conversations. These aren't just some feel-good sessions. They are plug-and-play playbooks for agents who want to grow better and want to grow right now. So tag your team, set the reminders, and hit up eXpUniversity.com.
All right, so there you go. University, by the way, I want to say thank you to every single person at University for all of the time, energy, and effort. I've been seeing you all over the building, engaged in all of the management and the moving around of people, making sure we had the best speakers in the best rooms. Thank you to the whole team. I love the fact that you guys are putting on a killer show today, and I want to thank you for all your hard work. By the way, this is the easy part. It's the 6 months of planning before this is the hard part. And by the way, you put together an amazing show. This year is better than last year by a mile. You guys have done some amazing improvements, and I'm proud of every single one of you and everyone on the team. So with that, we're going to close this out. But before we do, I want to make sure you guys know I appreciate every single one of you and all the people that are here. I appreciate the people at Success Magazine for letting me use the Success booth to record the big agent meeting this year. And by the way, check it out, QR code. We're going to pop up the QR code so you guys can give us a rating on a scale of 1 to 10. I hope you like the show today. A little bit interesting, a little bit different than what we normally do, being live in a new location. I love that. And give us a rating on a scale of 1 to 10 on how we're doing. All right, so with that, I'm going to let you go. But before I let you go, I'm going to show you what's going on out here again. People are popping up. Got more and more people popping up into the Expo Center. So I'm Russ Laggan, Big Agent Meeting, checking you guys out. See you guys next week. Bye-bye.